Hello there. This is Earl Bryant coming at you from the New York City suburbs of Long Island, and it is time once again for Earl's Forum, where it is my mission to educate, edify, and encourage excellence in every area of your life. Today's Pearl is called Make Them Glad You Shared Some Time Together. Tony Robbins often says that people don't buy products or services as much as they buy experiences. The definition of the word experience is rather interesting, especially the British definition. It is as follows: direct personal participation or observation, actual knowledge or contact. It is also a particular incident, feeling, etc. that a person has undergone. If there's anyone who understands the power and the importance of a shared experience, it is Carol Burnett. When she walked off the stage for the final time and closed down her show in May of 1978 after an 11-year run on CBS television on Saturday nights, she left to a thunderous standing ovation from a packed house and studio audience. And she also left behind millions of viewers on television who enjoyed every second of the ride in those 11 years. Now, the reason that she has such a devoted following, and even these 4 decades later, people still think of her with a laugh or a smile or even a twinkle in their eye, is because for every second of those 11 years, Carol made it a point to do her very best to make sure that everyone who came to see her show, whether in the studio audience or tuning in at home, had a memorable experience with her for 60 minutes on a Saturday night. She and her cast and crew worked very hard to make sure that everyone was entertained, everyone had a good laugh, everyone was lighthearted, everything they did was all in the spirit of fun. And Carol was very cognizant of the fact that people tuned in to have a good time. She appreciated people coming in to have a good time. In fact, I read something about her not long ago that the greatest thrill she ever had in her life was entertaining people and making them laugh, and she wanted to repeat that feeling over and over again. So when she had her show, at the very beginning of the show, as she welcomed people to the program, she said directly and indirectly, "Thank you so much for tuning in. I realize that there are other places and other programs you could have seen, other things you could be doing right now. I appreciate the opportunity to entertain you." And before the show would begin, she would engage her audience for about 2 or 3 minutes, and she would answer questions whenever possible. And then she and her crew would entertain for the bulk of the hour. And then when the show was over, she would close the show by singing her trademark song, "I'm So Glad We Had This Time Together." And as she said "so long," she would tug her left ear as a signal to her grandmother that everything was okay. So by the time her 11 years were up, when she made it clear that it was time for the show to end, because she felt like it was time, in Carol Burnett fashion, she got down in front of the audience. She sat down on the stage wearing a cleaning woman's outfit, which was her way of letting people know that she didn't feel like she was above anybody and that she had taken people along with her on the ride for all 11 years. And she sat down and she very calmly explained to everyone that yes, it was her decision to end the show, and she felt like she owed an explanation to everyone who followed her for the 11 years, because she had taken them on the ride and taken them on the journey, and they had shared the experience together for all 11 years. And as she put it, since it was my decision, I felt like you need to hear that from me. And during her little dialogue with the audience, she made it clear that she appreciated everyone she had the chance to work with. She appreciated everything that she went through during those entire 11 years, and that basically they had grown up together and they'd become sort of a family, and there was kind of a kinship there. And she appreciated the fact that they got to play this out, not only with the people that she worked with, but with the people that she performed in front of every single Saturday for 11 years, 11 seasons. And even though the network asked her to sign on for a 12th season, she felt that it was necessary for her to close down after 11 because, as she told the audience, it's much better to leave before you're asked to. And she was very humble and very grateful and very appreciative. And she felt like she had been given a privilege of entertaining people for 11 years, and she was so honored by the privilege of being able to do so. And she was not shy about letting people know how much she enjoyed the opportunity to do that, and that it was just as big a thrill for her as it was for the people that she entertained. And that, to me, is why so many people still appreciate her to this day, and they gave her such a long, prolonged, very loud, very appreciative, and very grateful standing ovation as she left the stage. Now, you may be wondering what you or I could possibly learn from Tony Robbins talking about experience and the fact that Carol Burnett had this shared experience for 11 seasons. What could you or I learn in our everyday lives from the lessons that she taught us that we can apply? Simply this: every encounter that you have, whether it's personal or professional, and especially professional, is the opportunity to create a memorable experience, one that is positive, one that's uplifting. It might not necessarily be fun or the kind that makes you laugh till your sides ache, until you start crying, but you can create a memorable experience that is enjoyable for everyone involved, that is meaningful, that is impactful, that is positive. You can do that for the people in your life on a personal basis, whether it's your friends, your family, or your loved ones, but you can also do that in the professional sense, whether it's your customer, whether it's your client, whether it's your business partner, whether it's anyone that you work with in a business sense, whether it's in a job, on a job, in a business, what have you. And what you want to do when all is said and done is share that experience, give the people that you encounter, that you work with, that you relate to, a feeling or an observation that is positive, a direct personal participation or an encounter that they find memorable, one that they can look back on and smile. And when all is said and done, when you do your very best to make that encounter as positive as possible, what you hope for in the end is that when you part company and you walk away, you might not necessarily tug on your left ear, but what you want is a feeling that's shared between you at the end of the day, that you are glad that you shared some time together. That even though that person could have invested their time somewhere else, that you are so glad and you're so honored and you're so privileged that they shared it with you, and you don't take it lightly, and you let them know that you appreciate them for it and you're grateful to them for it, and you're very happy and you're going to do your very best to make sure that they feel like the time they spend with you was time well spent and time well invested, and they have no regrets over it. And as I said, when you part company, hopefully at the end of the day, you and the other party, whoever it is, party or parties, can all say that you're glad you shared some time together. And that is your pearl from them. It is my hope that you got some value out of that. And if you did, please do me the honor of giving a like or a thumbs up. And don't be stingy. Please share the wealth with someone else that you believe can benefit from this information. Now, this is one of many lessons that I have learned in recent months from a group of people who have shown me that time shared together can be time well spent and time well invested. And you can look back on it and smile and have a twinkle in your eye, and it's something that you can look back on and you can draw from, and it can help you to move forward in your everyday life, whether personally or professionally. If you would like the privilege or the opportunity to meet these people and learn from these people as I have, I invite you to click on the link that I have placed below this video, and you'll have the opportunity to learn from them and to share from their wisdom and their knowledge and their experience. You can take a 10-day test drive trial membership for only $10, and you can learn what they have to offer. You can learn a system of how to brand yourself, how to identify yourself, how to make yourself stand out in the marketplace, so that people can remember you fondly and look back on time with you as a positive interaction. And if at the end of that 10 days you decide that it's not your cup of tea and it doesn't work for you, just ask for your $10 back, and you'll get a refund, no questions asked. But at the very least, you'll have the opportunity to learn from some people who can teach you how to make every shared experience with everyone that you encounter as positive as possible. This has been another Pearl from Earl. It has been my privilege and my honor to share this with you. You spent some time with me, so we share some time together. And the next time that we gather around for Pearl from Earl, I hope to see you. Take care, be blessed and not stressed, and make it a great day.